Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 6, a shooting involving police leaving a man dead. We're going to break down the moments leading up to the shooting and now what happens next.
Plus, thousands are expected downtown tonight to celebrate New Year's. How police are gearing up to keep everybody safe out there.
And once again, Central Florida waking up to fog across the area. We're going to talk to Jessica about when this could be rolling out. Welcome to the 6 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando. I'm Ryan Elijah. Our very first New Year's Eve celebrations just seconds away.
Oh, absolutely, because isn't it New Zealand? That's
it is.
Yeah, going to be the first ones to welcome in Auckland, New Zealand. You are just
a place I've been, by the way, years ago.
Really?
Yeah,
look at you.
Back in high school.
Jess was like, what?
Wow.
Good for you, Ryan. All right, so let's get right on over to meteorologist Jessica Dobson. Never been to New Zealand myself, Jess. Good morning.
I have not either, but I feel like we always learn so much about Ryan on Good Day Orlando. I feel like each and every week we learn something new. But hey, here's a live look at that dense fog advisory, which is in place for most of our counties until 9 a.m. So all the counties you see here in blue, that's going to be where we have that dense fog advisory in place. And through 9 a.m. is when we can expect the worst of it. Once we get past 9 a.m., we'll start to see some slow and steady improvements. And really much of Florida is actually under that dense fog advisory. So only a couple of counties are the exception. So, looks like Happy New Year to Auckland, New Zealand.
See, now you've been to Auckland.
You've been to Auckland.
Oh, have you seen that, Ryan?
I haven't seen that, no.
Happy New Year.
Didn't look like that when I was there.
New Zealand. It is 2025.
Oh, very nice.
Awesome.
Well, 2025 somewhere. I don't think that's how the song goes, but it's something. But we are going to be talking about some dense fog this morning, but also the roadway. So here is a live view of Skyfox traffic because we do have a crash where the shoulder's blocked off. This is on I-95 in the southbound direction. We talked about this a little while ago, but it doesn't look like we're seeing a whole lot in the way of delays on I-95 specifically. So that's some good news there. Hopefully they'll work to clear this out soon, and I'll keep you posted of any other traffic incidents or delays through the rest of this morning. Until then, guys, I'll send it back over to you at the desk. Actually, we just did traffic, but that's okay. I'll go over it one more time for us. I'll flip the slide, but we are still seeing that incident again on I-95 in the southbound direction. We do have some patchy dense fog, so just be aware of that. Otherwise, most areas we are in pretty good shape. We haven't seen a whole lot in the way of traffic this morning. We did have an incident a little while ago that was close to South Goldenrod Road, but looks like that has cleared up. All right, now I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
Jess, thanks, and thanks for hosting the Auckland celebration as we usher in 2025. Well, shift gears right now. We are following a number of stories, including learning more about an officer-involved shooting in Orlando.
And so this happened 1 block away from Evans High School in Pine Hills. Officers responded to Shining Willow Terrace around 9:13 last night for domestic disturbance. Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie joins us live from the Orlando Police Department this morning with more. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning. Well, Orlando police say when they arrived at the house, they found a 26-year-old suspect armed, and the situation quickly escalated. Now, no officers were hurt in this shooting, and for now, they will be on paid administrative leave while FDLE investigates. Reporting live from the Orlando Police Department, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you. The time right now is 6:03, and happening today, the woman accused of shooting her husband inside a Daytona Beach hospital is scheduled to appear in court. Investigators say Ellen Gillen shot her terminally ill husband as part of a suicide pact. She was initially charged with first-degree murder, but her charges were changed to assisting self-murder and aggravated assault. The court records start at 8:30 this morning. It will happen in Daytona Beach, and we will follow it for you.
Well, thousands of people expected in downtown Orlando tonight, of course, for our version of New Year's celebrations.
Going to be good celebrations. It's not just parties bringing people to Orlando. We've got sports fans. They're in town for the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl at Camping World Stadium. We've also got Fox 35's Morgan Parrish who's joining us live this morning. And the other part of this is that Orlando Police, Morgan, are saying that they are really prepared and ready for what could be a very eventful night.
Danielle and Ryan, good morning and happy New Year's Eve. And yes, we know thousands of people are going to be downtown tonight, especially out here on Wall Street. This is where we really see those big crowds on Orange and Central Boulevard. So with that comes safety concerns. And we know that Orlando Police Department says that they're going to have extra security measures out tonight. Filippo says he expects between 3,000 to 4,000 people at his venue, as well as others tonight. So again, we're just hoping that everyone stays safe. There are going to be those extra safety measures in place, and a lot's going to be going on today. We have the Citrus Bowl, we have the New Year's Eve celebrations. So hopefully at the end of the day, it's just a good time. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
Morgan, sounds good. Should be a good time for sure. Of course, we're counting down to 2025, and authorities really sharing a warning as well. Each year, there are an estimated 8,300 Americans that end up in the hospital for injuries related to fireworks. Now, certainly that covers July 4th also. Floridians are allowed to shoot off fireworks with some restrictions. Now, non-professionals can only use them on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and the 4th of July, you have to be 18 to purchase them. Officials say you should put them on a stable surface as well, and only one person should handle them.
When you do decide to take fireworks and shoot them off at home, just please make sure you're not sending them towards wooded areas, not towards your home, not towards people, not towards pets.
Well, authorities say when the fireworks are over, make sure they are safely, place them in a bucket of water. So a lot of little things you can do to ensure safety. Of course, do not shoot your gun in the air during New Year's celebrations. Goes without saying. Remember, what goes up always has to come down eventually. Improperly shooting a gun in Florida could get you a charge of negligence or recklessness, especially if someone gets hurt. It happens in a number of countries throughout the world.
It certainly does. 6:06 is the time in Volusia County. A man at the center of a deadly stand your ground case is now cleared of criminal charges. A judge dismissed the case against 79-year-old Edward Druzalowski. Last year, a dispute between neighbors on Alameda Drive turned deadly. According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, Druzalowski shot and killed 42-year-old Brian Ford after claiming Ford was cutting tree limbs on his property and ignored warnings to leave.
New details this morning on a crash between the Brightline train and a fire truck. This was over the weekend. We're now hearing from a man who was on board the train. It happened Saturday in South Florida. This image is really something. 12 passengers, 3 firefighters were hurt. Right there is the impact. The man and 13 members of his family, they were heading to Orlando after a holiday cruise. He said they were in the last car of the train and knew things were bad because they could see the debris.
Crowd of people kind of gathered around and they were filming, and I was watching their reactions because I couldn't actually see the wreck that was behind us from the window, but they were covering their mouths and shaking.
So he says fire crews may have thought it was clear to cross because a cargo train had just gone by. Brightline, of course, reminding drivers to never go around crossing gates when they're down. The crash is being investigated.
10 minutes now after the hour, still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning. A number of key laws take effect in Florida beginning tomorrow.
They do indeed. We're going to tell you which ones will impact you the most. Plus, the final launch of the year on the Space Coast, what happened this morning, where the rocket is heading, and the special technology it's got on board. It was another record-setting launch, by the way. Right now, let's check in with Jessica Dobson because it's been a broken record. We've had that fog hanging around about all week.
I know, yeah, we sound very repetitive, but it is another foggy start to our day. We have a dense fog advisory in place, but coming up, I'm going to be tracking a cold front that is set to bring some big changes our way just in time for the start of the new year. I'll talk more if it's going to impact your New Year's Eve plans. That's coming up after the break.
The Mission Control Camera is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Welcome back, everybody. This is a live look through our Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral. Dark and early on this last
Never
day
done a
of
New Year's Eve cruise. I bet it's a good time.
That would be a good
I bet it's a good time.
From the cruise king himself. Put it on your bucket list, right, Elijah?
That'd be fun. Being on the promenade there at midnight.
See, there you go. You're already planning it. Thanks so much for staying with us. And with the new year tomorrow, a number of new laws are set to go into effect here in Florida.
Let's take a quick look at some you should be aware of. The first puts new restrictions on social media for minors. The bill, of course, prevents kids from getting social media accounts while they're under the age of 14. Teens that are age 14 and 15, they would need parental consent. The law also mandates age verification for those under 18 on sites with harmful content like pornography.
Well, there will be a few more extra steps. If you want to change the party that you're registered to vote in for Florida, you will now have to agree to the change in writing. And new voter registration applicants who fail to designate a party affiliation will be registered without one.
And also starting tomorrow, anyone who comes between a first responder and their duty could be charged with a misdemeanor. This is a new law that defines first responder as law enforcement officers, probation officers, firefighters, and even EMS. Threatening them, harassing them, or impeding their ability to do their job, that could land you in jail for 60 days.
It is 6:15, turning our attention to the Fox 35 Mission Control here for you now. This morning, SpaceX launched the final rocket of 2024 overnight. Take a look.
4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
This rocket is taking 21 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. 13 of those are part of SpaceX's direct-to-cell program, which is aiming to make access to the phone and internet available in all parts of the globe instantly. There were a record number of launches on the Space Coast this year.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the SpaceX record was last year. Now it's been set again this year.
Absolutely.
So getting that out of the way because they know tonight the skies will be busy with fireworks and everything else.
Sure.
A good point.
Absolutely. That's actually a very good point. All right, so all of us have got to go to bed early because we've got to get up tomorrow, other than one of us on this table, but we won't say who.
So I'm off tomorrow, and I can tell you right now, the odds of me hitting midnight probably still low.
You don't want to hear the fireworks either, do you?
I do
Take
not.
one for the team, Ryan. Stay up late.
Stay up till midnight. All right. I will experience it for all of us.
You've got cats. We have dogs. The pets don't like it.
they don't.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's for me. I can sleep pretty easily with the noise, but I feel bad for all the animals, and of course our veterans too don't love it. So hopefully you just leave it to the organized efforts in terms of fireworks, the officials, not any sort of other efforts in neighborhoods. But hey, here's a live view outside iDrive, which I feel like this is going to be a popular place later tonight. This is where we can see that with some patchy dense fog, and we'll likely be dealing with a little bit of that tonight as well. But we're at 68 degrees right now at iDrive. This is, of course, in Orange County. It's a mild start to our day, to say the least. So temperatures are well above normal, and we're going to keep it that way all throughout the rest of today. So by lunchtime, we're up to 72 degrees, up to around 80 by 5 o'clock. And if you're wondering when that patchy dense fog is going to come to an end, we do expect that to gradually come to an end and we'll clear out as we get closer towards around 10 a.m. And that's going to be when we have that dense fog advisory until through about 9 a.m. this morning. We had it extended yesterday, but not expecting as much of that to take place for today. Now, looking at our current setup, we do have winds that are moving in out of the south and west. And anytime that happens, it's a safe bet that temperatures are going to be on the warm side. But we are tracking a cold front, which is going to be advancing and moving in from the north and west. That's going to be one of the culprits in helping to bring us a couple of these stray showers by later today, but also we're going to be expecting some cooler temperatures as we head into the very first day of 2025. But before we get there, we do have a couple of these sprinkles, which will likely begin right around the 10 o'clock hour. They're going to be moving in from the north and west, very hit and miss. We're not expecting a washout by any means, just about a 10 to 20% chance. As these move from northwest to southeast, they are going to be gradually fading. They'll leave a couple of sprinkles for about 3, 4 o'clock today in the Orlando area, but once they make it to the south and east of the I-4 corridor, we are going to be much drier. That front itself is going to be pushing through as well as we get closer towards around the 10 o'clock hours. So for your New Year's Eve, we are looking mostly clear and dry. Temperatures will be warm, the mid 60s. It's going to feel pretty nice. 66 degrees by 10 o'clock, 65 as the new year starts, and down to 63 degrees through the 2 o'clock hours. So overall, you probably really won't need a jacket if you're going to be heading out tonight. You won't need the rain gear either, so we're going to be in pretty good shape. And that's actually going to be true for the next couple of days. So for tomorrow, the first day of the new year, 70 degrees, nice and dry, down to 66 for Thursday. So we are going to be expecting a slight cool down for Thursday before we rebound a bit for Friday with a high of 69 degrees for Friday. But we are going to be tracking a big cool down. And this is really going to be the case for much of the eastern half of the U.S. So we're going to be talking about this a lot, and you're likely going to see us talk about it a lot, not only here, but also online on social media, because this is a pretty big deal. It's not, though, until January 8th. So a little over a week out is when we can expect some very cold temperatures to take shape. So this is the Climate Prediction Center essentially saying we have a high chance, a high probability of below normal temperatures by almost 15 to 20 degrees. So this is going to be kind of our first Arctic blast that we're expecting. It's going to bring us the coldest weather of the season, most likely. And that's going to be taking place right around Wednesday, January 8th. So about a week or so from tomorrow. And we're going to be seeing, again, those temperatures anywhere from around 15 to 20 degrees below normal. So that means we'll be right around the upper 40 40s and low 50s, at least the way things stand right now. Since it is about 9-10 days out, we'll likely see those numbers change and budge them a little bit, but just something to keep in mind as we look ahead towards the extended forecast. But speaking of, here's your 7-day on your screen now. Temperatures will go from the 80s today down to the low 70s tomorrow, a little breezy. 66 for Thursday, 69 for Friday, and then for the weekend, Saturday, it's going to be one of the cooler days, a high of only 60. It is 6:20, and now it's time for a look at Skyfox traffic. And we do have a crash report. This is going to be where the right lane is blocked off on South Jungham Parkway in the northbound direction. This is going to be very close to Freedom High School, and this is going to be at the intersection of the Central Florida Parkway. So just keep that in mind. That could be a spot where you might experience some delays. Also, we do want to give you the latest drive time if you're heading from US Highway 27 into downtown Orlando. You're looking at around a 25-minute commute, which is faster than normal. We can see traffic is moving along just fine this morning, but we are still seeing some of that dense fog. All right, it's time now for a look at our gas prices too, because we've had a couple numbers below $3, so we will take it. $2.95. That's today's pump patrol from Racetrack. That's going to be in Kissimmee. That's at 1470 East Osceola Parkway. Head over to our website, fox35orlando.com, to find more great deals on gas prices in your neighborhood. All right, guys, let's send it back over to you at the desk.
All right, Jess, thanks so much. Just ahead on Good Day Orlando on this Tuesday morning, we hear from the off-duty paramedic who firefighters are calling a hero this morning after he jumped into action during a car fire. Stay with us. Good Day Orlando continues.
Welcome back on this New Year's Eve, 624 in Marion County. A paramedic on his way to work when he saw a car on fire, and without missing a beat, Stephen Cabrera rushed in to save a life. This happened on I-75 yesterday morning. Cabrera and several bystanders broke out the windows of the car on fire, and he pulled out his pocket knife to cut the driver's seatbelt and airbags.
30 seconds longer and the outcome would have been much worse. Just the time it took to pull him, once he was free and clear and not trapped anymore, pulling him only 10 feet away from the vehicle was all the time it needed for the entire interior to be fully involved in unlivable situation there.
Yeah, just the bravery knowing that car could explode as you're rushing to it. The man was rushed to the hospital. Working to get an update on his condition. Marion County Fire Rescue now calling Cabrera a hero. He says that he was simply doing his job.
It is now 6:25. Developing this morning, the Treasury Department says it was hacked by someone affiliated with the Chinese government. Department officials learned of this breach on December 8th. The hacker reportedly gained access to Treasury Department workstations using a security key. The agency is now working with the State Department to figure out the impact of this incident. This comes just a week after the White House confirmed Chinese officials accessed Americans' private texts and phone conversations through a targeting of a U.S. company. Still to come on Good Day Orlando this morning, a Central Florida tradition has been saved.
It has. We're going to let you know where you can see the new experience of the orange ball dropping tonight, not at the same spot on Church Street. Plus, a local team completing a 6-year journey. We're going to show you the great cause behind his Run for Heroes and what is next for the organization. Stay with us.
Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 6:30 here on Good Day Orlando, officers open fire, killing a man in Orange County. We will break down the events leading up to this officer-involved shooting.
And another foggy morning in Central Florida. Good Day Orlando is tracking how it's going to impact your New Year's Eve morning.
And speaking of New Year's, a local tradition gets a last-minute lifeline. We have the details on this year's orange ball drop. It has been saved. So
yeah, last year it went away and everybody's like, oh, we lost the orange drop.
Yeah,
it's back.
Absolutely. And welcome back, everybody, to Good Day Orlando. This is the 6:30 half hour, the last day of 2024. Let's make it a good one together, shall we? I'm Danielle.
Danielle, good morning. I'm Roddy Elijah. That orange is going to be warm tonight, too, because we've got pretty good weather for the New Year's festivities. Let's check in with Jess, because right now, though, our concern is the fog.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's another foggy morning. I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately, but it's going to be true once again this morning. This is a live view of I-95 southbound, so this is going to be in Brevard County at mile marker 208.8, so almost 209. As we can see that there are some headlights, we can actually tell that there are cars on the roadways too, but otherwise just use your low beams if you're going to be heading out this morning. That dense fog advisory is in place for all of the counties you see here in blue, which is essentially all of our counties with the exception of Marion and Flagler counties, but this is going to be until 9 a.m. So between now and 9 a.m. is when we can expect the worst of the fog to take shape, and we'll likely see that reduced visibility through much of this this morning. So by 10, 11 o'clock, we should start to see a lot of steady improvement. So kind of similar to like what we saw yesterday. That being said, it is a very warm start to our day. You won't need the jacket as you're heading out the door this morning. 66 degrees right now in Orlando, 68 in Bithlo, 67 in Sanford and Leesburg, and 67 as well in the Villages and Bushnell. So all in all, it's a very warm start to our day. And as we get you out the door on this Tuesday morning, the last day of 2024, we have that dense fog that will continue through the 8 o'clock hour, 65 degrees, 70 through 10 a.m. And then by lunchtime, noon, we're looking at 75 degrees. So coming up, I'll talk more on just how warm we get today and how long it will last. But first, a look at the roadways, because we do, of course, have some of that patchy dense fog out there. But so far, drive times have been in pretty good shape. If you're heading on I-4 westbound from Daytona to Orlando, you're looking at around a 40-minute commute. If you're on the 408 from the 417 to downtown, 6 minutes. And then Champions Gate on I-4 eastbound into downtown Orlando, 22 minutes. So we're in the green across the board. We have just like one lonesome incident, and so far it looks like that is clearing up pretty quickly, so not causing too many issues out there. But I'll keep you posted of any other incidents or delays through the rest of Good Day Orlando. Until then, I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle at the desk.
All right, Jessica, thanks. Well, developing this morning, we're learning more about an officer-involved shooting in Orlando. This happened a block away from a high school in Pine Hills. Officers did respond to Shining Willow Terrace about 9:13 last night for domestic disturbance. That's where police say they encountered a 26-year-old suspect outside the home. Officers noticed the suspect had a gun. They told him not to touch that. The suspect ran but was cut off by police. Officers tased him when he reportedly refused their commands. That's when the suspect drew his gun, and he allegedly reached for the gun as well. Both officers shot him at that time. The suspect did die at the scene. We're working to learn his identity. The officers involved are now on paid leave, which is standard policy. Well, this morning we're just hours away now from the start of a new year.
Oh, we certainly are, and there will be a number of celebrations across Central Florida tonight, including the Orange Ball Drop. It is back. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish is in Orlando this morning. Morgan, good morning to you. This tradition almost didn't happen at all this year.
Danielle, good morning and happy New Year's Eve. That's right. A lot of people were nervous that this wasn't going to happen, but the show is going on. The Orange Ball will drop from on top of the reindeer room over in Thornton Park. And the Orange Ball is 25 years old, and right now they are currently working on fixing it, making sure that it is shiny and bright to bring in the new year. So we're excited to see that celebration tonight. We know thousands of people are going to be out in Orlando celebrating New Year's Eve, and we're just hoping that everyone stays safe during it. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
In Seminole County, the founder of the group Running for Heroes just finished his last run to honor fallen first responders. It is the end of a 6-year journey. A crowd of people showed up yesterday to cheer on Zachariah Cartledge for his 1,572nd mile run. Each honored a different officer, including many from right here in Central Florida. And get this, Zachariah is just 16 years young. He started running for Heroes when he was just 10. And while his running journey may be over, he plans to be part of his nonprofit forever.
It just started with me running for fun in my neighborhood, and it's turned into a national nonprofit where we've given back over $1 million to injured first responders and families, and been able to run over 1,800 miles in total as an organization.
Which is amazing. Zachariah will now sit on the board of directors for Running for Heroes and mentor other kids running.
That's great stuff right there.
He's a great kid for sure. 6:37 is your time. Still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning. We're celebrating the year in food.
Why not? Taking a look at some of Central Florida eats, the best of those. Plus, new year, new me. Why health experts want you to focus less on resolutions this year, on more on lifestyle changes.
And before we go to break, we want to wish you a happy birthday if you're celebrating it today. If you are, here's a celebrity also sharing your big day. Olympic gymnast Gabby Douglas turns 29 today. Gabby, happy birthday to you and you at home if today is your big day. We'll be right back. The Fox 35 Care Force, it's our commitment to Central Florida.
The largest walk in the country.
We raise money and get school supplies to families in need.
We're helping over 1,000 families with full Thanksgiving baskets this year.
The Fox 35 Care Force, depend on us.
Yeah, what an image this morning. A lot to go through here. I mean, sun coming up. It's a beautiful shot of the Space Coast from the Launch Credit Union camera, and there's also some fog literally rolling in right now. We're rolling out. We don't know. Let's bring in Jess to see exactly what's happening. We do know it's a familiar sight over the last week.
Yeah, we've had some sea fog for one, which is pretty common this time of year, but also just the patchy dense fog we've had over the last, I feel like, couple of weeks, months, I guess, too. But yeah, this morning it's not quite as bad as what we saw yesterday, I feel like. So that's good, but we are still under a dense fog advisory, so keep in mind, you give yourself a couple of extra minutes if you're going to be heading out and doing any sort of traveling this morning. This is that live view, though, of Titusville this morning, where we can't see as nice of a view as we saw there in Port Canaveral. So this is our Launch Credit Union camera there in Brevard County. And temperatures this morning have been quite mild, too. We've been in the upper 60s for the most part, so that's a contributing factor to some of that dense fog. But otherwise, that dense fog advisory continues until 9 a.m. for all of the counties you see shaded in blue here. And that's going to be for essentially all of Central Florida and really much of Florida as a whole, with the exception of Marion and Flagler counties, where the fog's not going to be quite as bad. But with that being said, after 9 o'clock, we are going to be expecting a lot of improvements to the forecast. So we'll go from around 64, 65 degrees through the mid-morning hours towards about lunchtime. We'll see 72 degrees for our temperatures. So if you're going to be heading out for any sort of midday lunchtime plans, you should be in pretty good shape. We'll have to dodge a couple of showers, but we'll talk more on those in a moment. Otherwise, a high today in Orlando of 80 degrees. Now, here's our current setup. So this is our current surface map. We have a cold front that's settled off to the north and west, and that is allowing a lot of this warm air to pump in from the south and west, and that's giving way to our warm temperatures we're going to be expecting this afternoon, which is why we have that high of 80 degrees today. Now, when it comes to those shower chances, they are going to be very spotty, very hit and miss, and one of the big components is going to be that cold front that's going to be pushing through. So by about 11 o'clock, we'll start to see these showers push in to, say, Marion County, northern Sumter counties, and these are also going to be fading as they sift through and as they work their way through Central Florida. So by about 3 o'clock, we'll start to see a lot of these dissipate, and by 5 o'clock, most of us looking dry. That cold front moves in as we head towards late tonight. So for New Year's Eve, any sort of plans you have, we're looking mostly clear and dry through the 10 o'clock hour, 66 degrees, 65 as the ball drops, and then 63 degrees through the 2 o'clock hour, and we're staying again dry and mild. As we head throughout tomorrow, though, temperatures do take a bit of a drop or a bit of a tumble. 70 degrees will be our high temperature Wednesday, followed by 66 on Thursday, and then we rebound a bit for Friday with a high of 69 degrees. Now, as we look ahead towards the following week, so next week, January 8th through the 14th, the second week of January, we're expecting a high chance of below normal temperatures. This is going to be something we talk about quite a bit as we look ahead towards the next week or so. So it's not going to be until roughly a week from today or tomorrow that we really start to see and feel the effects of these temperatures that are going to be below normal by at least 15 to 20 degrees. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Enjoy this pleasant weather while it's here. Temperatures will go from the 80s today down to the low 70s tomorrow, and even down to the low 60s by Saturday, with a high of 60 degrees Saturday and then 67 by Sunday. All right, it's 6:45 and time now for a look at our catch of the day. And this is a really good catch. This is going to be from Claudio Torres in Deltona, doing a little pond fishing. That's a big fish for, I feel like a pond, but that's a great catch. Head over to our website, fox35orlando.com/catch, and we would love to feature your fish photo here on Good Day Orlando. Okay, and now it's time for a look at the roadways with Skyfox traffic, because this morning we've actually been pretty quiet in terms of incidents. This is a live view of US Highway 27 at I-4. Usually we see a lot of stopped traffic at this hour, but we're actually in pretty good shape. Traffic is flowing smoothly. We're up to around a 26-minute commute, which is pretty much on par with what we would normally see. So just keep that in mind. We do have, though, some of that patchy dense fog, so just be mindful of that. Give yourself a couple of extra minutes and also some extra stopping room if you're heading out this morning. Otherwise, 6:46, I will send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle, at the desk.
And we'll take it. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning with us here on Good Day Orlando. And we are just getting started because we've got a lot of holiday specials that are going to be airing.
We do, continuing this week. Tomorrow at 5 a.m., join David Martin for a full hour of Central Florida Eats.
It will also be streaming anytime on the Fox local app, and here's part of it.
That was Fox 35's David Martin. Again, you can watch Central Florida Eats tomorrow at 5 a.m. If you've not discovered this show, really shows you some great stuff. You can watch it on the Fox local app along with all of our holiday specials. They will be there, and you can see there's Foxy, Orlando Matters, Gatorland. We will be right back 10 minutes before 7.
There is so much more news, weather, and traffic headed your way as we get into the 7 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando. Amy is back from vacation with a preview of what is ahead at 7. Hi, Ames.
Good to see you guys. Well, coming up on Good Day Orlando at 7, some places already ringing in the new year. We are counting down to the orange ball drop in Orlando. We're going to tell you what has some business owners a little concerned this year. Also, the Call of Duty does not punch a clock. An off-duty paramedic pulling a driver from a burning car, and he is going to join us live to talk about this heroic rescue. You also may have gotten some gift cards, maybe ones that you don't plan to use. We're going to tell you how you can turn those into good old cold hard cash. It's all coming up in our 7 o'clock hour right after this quick break.